Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Let's continue with our focus of the day. Mining affected communities united in action is accusing Transnet Freight Rail of failing the logistics and mining sectors. It says the trucking industry has happily stepped in as Transnet continues to move less and less coal. For more context, we are joined by the Macua National Coordinator Meshack Mbangula. Thank you very much, Mr. Mbangula, for your time here on eNCA. Obviously, when Transnet doesn't work, over and above that, Eskom is also failing citizens of South Africa. How does this affect especially employment in the mining sector, those who are able to get jobs at mines?
Yeah, the inefficiencies of Transnet or railway network we have seen almost 40 billion a year being lost by the mining companies. And obviously, if that affects the mining so much, obviously it will affect the workers and they lose work. And it's really disappointing that to see that is the railway networks knows very well, amongst other things, mining companies are core, economy in South Africa that supports the economy. But they should have tried by all means to make sure that his railway doesn't have shortfalls on exporting the minerals, because it affects the mining so much that is 40% of the profits have fallen, and that should be seen as very terrible thing that will send the country crumbling of these things. So we prefer there should be, what is good is that this year in March, the white paper indicated that they will be revitalizing the issue of railway network to make sure that there are no more inefficiencies in exporting the minerals.
Yeah. And, what about the mining communities? Doesn't that also result in those in those communities being plunged further into poverty?
Yeah, you must remember that is the issue of railway network. It's only not companies. There are a lot of communities that were using railway to go to work and at a very reasonable price. And now, when railway stops working because of the COVID and all that stuff, there are a lot of people lost work, and the companies lost billions. And if companies lose billions, they retrench people. And if the railway is no more working, it's too expensive for communities to use taxis to work and every day. And so a lot of people are affected. And if people lose work in the mines, the families are getting affected, communities are getting affected. And we have stages where we use mines to make sure that they support communities with skill development and everything. And if mine closes down, a lot of people get affected.
And I guess, for me, also, Meshack, it shows that government has completely forgotten how industries such as the mining sector were at some point the backbone of our economy.
Yes, you must know that we've seen the South African Airways crumbling down because of the government. Now we see the Transnet crumbling again, and all these parastatals places are assisting communities to be able to go to work, create work and everything. But if because of the corruption in the government, they eat money, or for them to benefit them, they affect these parastatals networks to work in an efficient way, and it causes a lot of unemployment, poverty into the communities. What we should be looking at now is to look at the white paper and say how they're going to make sure they revitalize the railway network to create jobs, to make sure people are able to do that. And what is worse, more than everything else, now everything they want to privatize it. Even if the railway network comes back through the private companies, it might be able to assess mines, but it will be a problem to the communities because it will be expensive. The private companies are not interested in making sure that people have transport, but it's about them to have profits and gain more profits, maximizing profits, not about the communities. It's because of the government failure to make sure they run Transnet in an efficient way to make sure people benefit. It's because of the government South African Airways failed. Now it's a problem again. That is, even Eskom is being privatized. Where I am now, in the Northwest, we are
Yeah.
in a meeting where they're privatizing Eskom to the private companies, which is the issues of load shedding. It will be worse because the electricity will be expensive for the communities to afford it. So even the mines might afford to be able to transport things through railway. But if we are starting to privatize this thing, it will be a problem. Yes, we have seen almost 40 billion being lost every year because of the shortfalls of Transnet not being able to make sure everything is transported to the port and
Yeah.
exported outside. That's a serious problem, and something must be done about these issues. The government has
So
been
what would you
failing with
suggest?
all the transport.
Yeah, because I think we all agree that something must be done. What would you suggest that should be if you don't want the private sector to step in and help? Not to own it, but to step in and assist, because clearly government is unable to actually fix the problem.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, if you look at the white paper that was agreed on March,
Yeah.
that is, we should bring back the railway networks to work. It shouldn't be 100% private sector that is owning this railway. We should keep it as parastatal. But there should be a way of doing things. When somebody has been corrupted or have disturbed these networks, that's what somebody should be taken to jail. But as we see, the government is doing as they like. They eat money with Eskom, with Transnet, and nobody goes to jail. And this thing will still affect the economy, will still affect communities. No, I mean, people are not, millions and millions of people have lost work when the railway closes down
Yeah.
in all over the country, especially in Gauteng. That
Yeah.
should not
All right.
happen. So I think we need to make sure, as it comes back, the government and the private sector, they work hand in hand so that we cannot
Together.
have
Yeah.
an
All right.
expensive.
All right. Well, you're right with one thing. Business always looks at profit, and that will therefore probably make sure that some things that we used to get from government are made more expensive, which would leave out those in areas that are disadvantaged, like your rural areas. But surely there should be some kind of partnership, maybe, business coming in at around 10, 15% for now. Meshack, thank you for your time.